Back in the garden today for a few minutes. We got some weather coming in. Here, look at these. We got these Alice's dreams that are starting to ripen. Now those ordered get a lot of stuff from House, but I don't think any of my tomatoes that I have in the garden this year came from House. I think everything came from Baker Creek. Rare seeds out of Missouri. Everything they sell is Ireland. So, and like I like a hybrid tomato or a hybrid different things. Like I grew some of my squashes and zucchinis and stuff all came from House. They were all hybrids, disease resistant, heavy producing, and they did good. We still got zucchinis in the house from then. I tore them zucchini plants up 2 weeks ago. I've got more of those growing, but tomatoes, I like an heirloom tomato. I think they taste better. Uh, I think you get a more unique looking tomato like this. Those are called an orange accordion. That's what I made the tomato pie out of. And then these Sart Relay. Here's one getting ripe. Probably that one is ripe. I've actually got a couple more in here ripening. See, you just don't get that kind of variety with the hybrid tomatoes. You can get a red slicing tomato. Uh, I think Mr. Stripey's are even hybrid. I'm not sure. I'm not 100% sure on that, so don't quote me on that. But anyway, everybody likes to grow Mr. Stripey's, and I do. They're a great tomato. But I like the heirlooms. For one, they're a pure seed. Uh, two, you just get that unique look to them. Uh, you can regrow the seeds. That's that's what I meant by the pure seed. You can regrow them. Which a hybrid you can regrow them, but you're not going to get the same thing you had from year to year. And as the years go on, as you continue to keep seeds from that whatever it is, if it's tomato or okra or whatever it is, the further you get from that first year, the more it's going to change. Like my okra that I have over here. Now these I got from the nursery, and these red stemmed ones I had from seed. Now that's a Clemson. No, that's a red burgundy. These are a jambalaya. Now they're both from House. I got them both, but I got these from the nursery because the nursery is actually selling jambalaya okra uh, sets in their nursery. But they're both hybrids. So the ones with the red stems, those the burgundy, they put out a red okra, and the jambalaya puts out a green okra. If you keep the seeds from the burgundy and grow them next year, you're still going to grow an okra plant. But you might get a red okra, you might get a green okra. You don't know. You don't know what you're going to get because the further you get away from that first planting, the more of those original traits that you had in the first with the first crop, the more of those you're going to lose as you go along. So that's why I like heirlooms because you can count on them every year to be the same thing every year as you save the seeds. And I just like a big old ugly naughty looking tomato. I really do. So I've done a little weeding here. Took my little battery powered tiller over there. I've done a little weeding. Busted that dirt up some. I've got that's an organic fertilizer, just a balanced fertilizer. You buy it low with just anything the big box store, you can get that anywhere. Ordered a product from House that is specifically for tomatoes. I'm trying to pick what's the best way to get to it here. Going through the tomato jungle. And it is a calcium supplement for your tomato plants. And it's called ProCal. It's up to your water hose. I got it. It's dripping a little bit, but now the connection. Get that with plastic. But what I'm going to do is I've busted the weeds out and kind of loosened the dirt up a little bit around these tomato plants. I'm going to come through and I'm going to side dress these with some fertilizer. Then I'm going to spray that calcium over them and kind of water it in with that calcium. And what that calcium does is it fends off blossom end rot. So for you tomato growers out there, backyard gardeners and such, and you grow a tomato and like the end of it, before it even starts to get ripe, the end of that tomato, the blossom end, the bottom end of that tomato starts to rot and starts to turn black and rots. And you wonder, like, what in the world's wrong with it? Because your plants actually look pretty healthy, but your tomatoes are rotting on the vine before they ever get ripe. That's called blossom end rot, and that's from a lack of calcium. That's what causes that. People will put Tums in the ground under their plants when they plant them, which will work, but it's not really cost effective. Uh, Eggshells, crush up eggshells, which will work fine next year, but it's going to take them a while to break down. People use Epsom salts, which there's mixed reviews on that, whether that actually works or not. Some people swear by it. Some people say it don't work. It actually robs calcium. So I don't know. I'm going by what the science says, and you have people arguing the science on both sides on that. But this is a quick absorption that you water it in liquid form. You water it in with water, and they get it immediately. So it's a quick boost of calcium to my tomato plants because they're hanging full of tomatoes right now. They're really working. They're working really hard. They're just now starting to ripen, and so I want to give them that boost so that I don't start losing tomatoes. I want to keep my tomatoes healthy. So I'm gonna. I don't know if I can set you guys up on a tripod where you can see me here or not. It's so thick. So I'm gonna sprinkle some fertilizer, and then I'm gonna water them in with this calcium, and then that's really about it for the garden today. So snuck up on you, did hot. So just side dress. Tomatoes are heavy feeders. Fertilize early when you plant them. And never touch them again. And you'll get tomatoes. But you'll end up with problems late in the year. Like blossom end rot, blight, different things like that. Healthy plants are strong plants. They fight off disease and the different mildews and molds and things, even pests. You know, we're even more susceptible to pests when you keep a good healthy plant. Let your plants get malnourished. And so it's a good idea when your tomatoes start getting full like this. You see there's tomatoes all in there. And they all look like that. Time to give them a little boost. So now I got the fertilizer spread, just side dressing them. See, if you look, see, I thought you said you got the weeds out. Well, those stalks are actually growing down in those, and I used that little tiller, and I didn't want to set them loose, damage my plants. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to go on the other end just like I was. I'm going to spray that fertilizer in with that calcium and kind of soak them in really good. We got some rain coming either tonight or tomorrow, so I wanted to get this done before the rain came, because then it'd be, waiting on another dry day to do it. It seems kind of silly to be out here watering your garden after it rains, so I want to do it before. That way I look silly for watering my garden before it rained. But we're not just watering here, we're feeding them, we're giving them the nutrients, and we're giving them the vitamins that they need to stay healthy throughout this growing season so they can pack on more fruit. Now, that's watered in with the calcium, and when the rain comes tonight, so I didn't make sure all of it got plenty of calcium, but I didn't spend too much time on the watering side of it. I'm going to turn this hose off. Because like I said, we got some rain coming tonight or tomorrow. Possible thunderstorms and stuff. We'll let that rain just soak that stuff right on down into those roots. And give them that boost that they need to carry them on through this fruiting season, because they're really packing on right now. And We want to make some spaghetti sauce, more tomato sandwiches, more tomato pies, and just all the good things we get out of tomatoes. It's like walking in a jungle in here. These castor plants are crazy. They're, does that do them justice? How tall they are? You can see. I mean, they're 12 foot tall. Said they don't do nothing. They just look cool in the garden. I've got another one down here. Funny story. So I was going to put them down here on this end. And then I said, no, I'm not going to do that. I'm going to plant potatoes down here and black beans. I'm going to put the black beans in there. And I already had them planted in here. And so I had some more seeds, some more beans left from because I grew them last year. So I just replanted up there and tilled all these up. And then this little guy hung in there. So there he is. I just let him grow. And he's got a little seed pod too. And while we're standing here, collards. They're coming up. There's some more. And they're also there. You can see them in the line. I put kale here in the middle. I think that's what that is right there. I think. Still no sign of the spinach, but it'll come up. You got more black beans coming up. See how the kohlrabi looks. Oh yeah, it's coming up good. And they're right down through there. You see them usually when you see them. There's two. You have two together. So they put 2 seeds in each spot, and then they space them out to where they're spaced perfectly. Because I tend to, if it's up to me, I tend to plant things too tight. I really do. But look what I found. There is a ripe ground cherry. I beat the squirrels to this one, so you just kind of squeeze it, peel that paper off of it, and then bite that off, and it tastes like pineapple. Here's another one. All right. You just squeeze it. And they're good. See another one over there. Thing is, these squirrels, hopefully, when that big red oak right there, that big red oak, and the nuts wrapping up on it, harden off, hopefully they'll stay too busy with that to pester me in my garden anymore. Squirrel season comes in here in a couple of weeks, and I may be out here in the backyard with a pellet gun squirrel hunting. That's the garden today. Here's the grandpa beans, thriving. They are, you know, they're that high on my leg. They've been in the ground. One day, so they've been around 17 days. So that's where they're at. So I don't know, as quick as they're growing, if I'm going to get another crop of these white half runners or not. See, I got some little beans hanging. I picked these off yesterday. I don't know if I'll have time to get another crop off. I do not want cross-contamination, cross-pollination between these and the grandpa beans. The grandpa beans are an heirloom, and we want to keep them what they are. We don't want to mix them up with anything else. So, coming days, I may be out here. Next video may be me tearing these beans out. But anyway, got the tomatoes fed, watered in, got a little bit of weeding done, and I think I'm gonna pick some more tomatoes because we got some that are blushing, and like I said, to keep the birds and the squirrels off of them. When they start to show pretty good, I'll go ahead and pick them. That way I know I'm going to get to eat them, and I let them ripen off on the counter, and then I'll put them in the freezer and freeze them until we're ready to can. And I think we've got We've probably got enough in there right now to make a batch of sauce. Or just canned whole tomatoes. We talked about doing that this year, just canning whole tomatoes. And then we want to make tomato sauce. We just break out a can of tomatoes and dump them in a pan with some garlic and some onion and oregano and all the seasoning that you need to make tomato sauce, and make it as we need it instead of canning. Because I tell you what, canning 30 jars of tomato sauce is roasting it off, roasting the garlic and the onions and everything off, and then mixing it all up and blending it. And it's a big job. It's an all day thing. But to just pull those tomatoes out and let them thaw out, slip the skins off of them and put them in jars and can them is not that big of a job. You can do that pretty quickly. And then when you want to make tomato sauce, you don't have to make a kettle big enough to feed Frankfurt. You can just make what you need for that day. And so I think that's what we're going to do. We're just going to do tomatoes. We're going to can those black beans. So that may be the next video too. Let's can the black bean. But anyway, thanks for watching. I'm your gardening real estate agent. If you need to buy or sell a house, give me a call. Jesus loves you. Go to church, and I love you. Thank you for watching. Bye.